Hello and welcome to Summer 2025 Comp 1. What I'm going to do in this video is just kind of poke around our course shell so that you can kind of see where everything is and how everything is set up. And then I'm also going to go over our syllabus. So once you enter our classroom, this is what it looks like. And you can see over here on the left hand of the screen, I have a couple of folders for you. The first one says start here. This is where your syllabus and just some other good information about the courses. We're going to look at that one in just a minute. And then you have weekly folders following that. When you click on a weekly folder, you'll see a couple of things. Up at the top, you'll see a checklist for that week so you know what you have to do. You're going to find lectures, readings, other resources, stuff like that below that. So like for example, where it says welcome to Comp 1, by the time you start the course, this will be populated with a link to this video that I'm making right now. And then below that, you will see your discussion board for the week. Your reading quiz. You have 3 attempts to take these reading quizzes. They are not timed and they are over the lectures, reading, and other resources that I give you. And then below that, you'll see your assignment for the week. The assignment instruction, the evaluation criteria, all of that is listed there so that you can look at it. I will say that the discussion boards do not have due dates populated into them. That's because of the way that eCampus works, but everything else should have a due date, and then that will help you kind of look at when things are due. All 5 of your weekly folders are already filled up with your assignments. You can poke around, you can look ahead, you can see what's coming up when. You can work at your own pace as long as you are participating in the discussion boards and getting everything in by the deadline. I know summer is a busy time and sometimes it works better for students to work a little bit ahead. Feel free to do that as long as you're responding to your peers on the discussion board in a timely manner. So let's look at the syllabus and course information. So before I get to the syllabus, there's a couple of things that I want to show you. All of your essays this semester are going to be graded with this rubric. Please download it, read over it. This gives you an idea of what I am looking for. The evaluation criteria is attached to every single writing assignment, but this goes into a lot more detail of which category does what in the rubric. And then below that is just some general information about our course. Here is my email address. Here is information about tutoring and resources, information about how to do well in the class, and then a whole list of resources that Dallas College has available to you. Below that, you're going to see course textbook information. The textbook that we're using is called Writing Guide, and it's by OpenStax. It's an OER resource, which means free to access on the internet, free to download. If you are the type of person who you want a hard copy of your book, you can purchase it from Amazon, but it's certainly not a requirement. Below that is just some general information about AI usage in educational settings and my policy on AI use from the syllabus. So please make sure that if you're using AI in any way, and this includes editing programs like Grammarly, that you are going through this policy very carefully and that you are including an AI appendix in your work. Okay, so all of this is in the Start Here folder. It'll be here all semester long if you ever need to reference back to it. And then to find your course syllabus, you can do a couple of things. You can come here and click this link, and that will open up this handy dandy little page that says you can click right here or you can click right there to download your syllabus. We're going to click right here and just take a look at the syllabus. I'm going to go over a couple of important things. I'm not going to read it word for word, but I just want you to have a general idea of how the class is going to work. I do not have an office phone and I'm not in the office much over the summer, so the best way to get a hold of me is to email me. But if you want to talk to me on Teams, you're more than welcome to click this link right here. This is an online asynchronous course. This means that you never have to be logged in at a particular time. As long as your work is in by the due date, it's up to you when you submit it. Below that is just course descriptions, learning outcomes. These Texas core objectives are going to be the same for all of your core course classes. And then below that is the grade breakdown. So you can see we have 4 discussion boards and 4 reading quizzes. We have one of those each week of the class except for final exam week. And then you have 4 essays. We have one of those each week of the class, and then below that you can see the final exam. Now, if you add all of this up, this comes to like 1,045 points. It's a little bit more than 1,000, but some of those extra points are built in as a buffer. If you have more than 900 points, you get an A in the course. 800 to 899 is a B, 700 to 799 is a C, 600 to 699 is a D, and 599 or less is an F. So you can kind of gauge your progress throughout the course. Now, below that, we have a course schedule. I've broken this up into weeks. All of your assignments, with the exception of your final exam, will be due on Sunday night of the week. So each week you have a discussion board, an essay, and a reading quiz. Your final exam will be the same material as the reading quizzes, and instead of being due on a Sunday, it is due on a Thursday because that is the day that our semester ends. So that's your course schedule. You can print it out, keep track of it, make sure that you have done everything that you need to do for the class. And then below this, I just have some course policies. So we're going to go through all of these, not in explicit detail, but just kind of an overview. Unexpected class changes. This is an asynchronous online course. We shouldn't have any interruptions because of weather or anything like that. But if something does happen, I will post an announcement in eCampus. So make sure that you are staying on top of that. Below that is attendance and participation. You have to participate in the course. It is an online course, so if you're not participating, you're not getting your grade. So make sure that you're checking your emails, checking your announcements, and then submitting assignments by the deadline. The next policy up here is late work. I do not take late work, especially over the summer, because it is just too easy to get behind. So if you know you have something coming up, do your work early. If you have an emergency, you're hospitalized, you have a death in the family, you're in a significant car crash, something like that, let me know, send me the appropriate documentation, and you and I can come up with some sort of plan for an extension. But like I said, if you know something is coming up, and we all have busy summers, just get your work in ahead of time. Below that is technology issues. This is what to do if you go to log in to your eCampus and you can't. You have a link right here for tech support, and it lets you know what you need to send to me to let me know, hey, I have an eCampus issue. Below that is just a little section on submitting your work. I only take Microsoft Word files that's .doc or .docx. You cannot send me a Google Doc or a Pages or a URL, anything like that. Now, if you use Google Docs or Apple Pages, you can save your work as a Word file, and that's totally fine. But you do have to send me that .doc or .docx file. Below that is the academic honesty policy. I expect that you are going to write your own work, that you are going to give credit for any words, ideas, or data that you borrow, that you are going to create original work from this class, and that you're never going to submit anybody else's work, including ChatGPT's or any AI tool. If you do this, you will get a 0 on the assignment. If you do it again, then you fail the course, and I have to fill out paperwork for the dean. It's really not fun for me. It's not fun for you. So please don't do it. Plus, the reason that we're in this class is to develop our writing skills, to learn how to really use our voice and put our thoughts and message out into the world. I'm interested in what you have to say, so make sure that you are giving me your own work. And this includes AI. Please read through this policy very thoroughly. If you use AI in any way, you are going to have to credit you're going to have to let me know. You're going to have to tell me how you used it and why you used it and what specific tools you used. We use Turnitin AI Checker. This is different than the typical Turnitin similarity report. If your work comes back as AI generated and you do not have this AI appendix, and I don't know how you've used AI, we're going to have a conversation and figure it out, and it's possible that you will fail the assignment. If you're using AI in ethical ways, using Grammarly to help find missing commas or those sorts of things, that's fine. But you may not use any direct quotes from AI sources. This means that if Grammarly wants to rewrite your whole paper and make it beautiful, you cannot turn that in. You have to turn in your original work. Below that, there's information about getting help in the class. Not only am I willing to help you, but there's also tutoring resources available to you. And then below that is my diversity, inclusion, and respect policy. Please read through this. If you need any religious accommodations or anything like that, just email me the first week of class and we can figure that out and go from there. So I know this was a lot of information, but if you have any questions, I am always willing to help. Have a great day, and I am looking forward to learning alongside you this summer.